Well, hey, we're going to go ahead and keep it still in the college game because we have a massive, gigantic game coming up. It is the Natty, the National Championship of 2025, Ohio State and Notre Dame. Man, this game is going to be interesting as hell because Notre Dame, no one really picked them to make it this far. And if you did, you're a diehard Notre Dame fan. I can't name anybody that actually picked them to make
I
it.
know
very,
what.
very, very lucky and knowledgeable.
Yeah, and they've actually looked pretty good though. The path they've went through, they have looked pretty good. They did knock off Georgia. They've done okay for themselves.
But
I just don't know about
a QB too though.
Yeah, I'll give it that. But, I mean, let's just go over some statistical facts on Notre Dame real quick. Right now, their points for is 38.5. Their points against is 14.3. So they got a damn good defense. They're number 14th in the country at 210 rushing yards per game. And here's where it gets a little bit crazy. 102nd in the country with 194 average for the passing yards. That's kind of bad going against
man. Against our defensive line. Against our defensive line that's coming to play. That's bad.
Yeah. In Ohio State, I mean, let's face it, they are the bigger brand, not bigger brand. They got the bigger recruits here. Their passing yards are averaging 265.1, which is 25th in the country. Their points against, which is they used to be Texas, now Ohio State took them over. They're only allowing 12.2 points per game, and if they're at 102nd in the league in passing, that don't favor too well for Notre Dame. BC, man, you got any thoughts on this one?
No, I'm just excited because this is going to be a little bit of not only do you have two classic traditional programs with Ohio State, like schools and Notre Dame, schools that have history, schools that have such prestige, but you've also got kind of a matchup, kind of like an old school throwback matchup, like we said, that front seven, the front four with Ohio State, and then you've got Notre Dame's ground game. This is something, if you're an old school pound the rock, like let's see win in the trenches kind of, if you're that kind of fan, at least on that matchup, you're gonna absolutely love it. Again, but if you're more of a modern fan, modern take with the passing yards, especially when Notre Dame's on offense, you may want to take a little bit of a bathroom break and wait till Ohio State gets on offense, because then that side of the ball, you've got Notre Dame's shutdown secondary against Ohio State's top or one of the best passing offenses in the country. It's going to be a barn burner for sure. It gives a little bit of flavor for kind of everybody, every type of fan, whether old school or new school.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's impressive that Notre Dame even got here too. They only had 3 5-star recruits. I mean, that's crazy, man.
Shout out to that.
I know of only one guy that probably picked Notre Dame to make it this far. I alluded to him last week. Like my boy Dallas used to go to high school with him. Biggest Notre Dame fan, pasty face ginger, man. Yeah, everything you'd expect, man. Luck of the Irish on their side.
Pasty face ginger.
I'm sorry, man. He is. I love the dude, but I'm telling you, he is. Damn, this background background is tanner than him. Like my gosh.
Yeah,
boy, be your own people, dog.
It's all love. Dude, he took that's our relationship, man. It was big bro, little bro in high school, man. So you know how it is.
Yeah.
Shout out to the pasties out there, man. All right, so anyways, continuing on, we're going to go ahead and leave the college game. But before we do, you guys want to make a prediction on this one? Does anybody pick a Notre Dame?
Negative, baby. Look at the hashtag Ohio State money line. That offense is overpowered compared to Notre Dame. Ohio State's putting up 21 points or more. Notre Dame is not going to put up more than 14 points, people. I'm telling you right now. Ohio State's going to win by like 2 touchdowns, man. That offense is too overpowered compared to the Notre Dame's offense. Their defense is fire, but they'll probably get 1 or 2 turnovers. But Ohio State's just going to take off, man. They're going to take off.
Yep. So I'm gonna take Ohio State in the game, but I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I think both defenses are gonna show up. Will Howard has his moments. Will Howard looks good at times, but there's also been times where Will Howard, ergo Michigan, couldn't do a damn thing either. So, and Notre Dame does have a pretty damn good defense as well. So, I think Notre Dame's going to keep it interesting. I just think when it comes down to it, that's where your offense is going to play into it. That Ohio State will be able to score. Notre Dame, not so much. I don't have as much faith in them, especially going against that number 1 defense in the country. But I do think Notre Dame is going to give them a fight because they have nothing to lose. They're not supposed to be here. And Marcus Freeman is a hell of a coach, and a lot of NFL teams are looking at him. Maybe the Chicago Bears. And what he's done this season is pretty damn impressive, especially after losing that game to Northern Illinois. They could have packed it up, but no, they're in the national championship after losing that game. So I think Notre Dame will give it a fight. I just don't foresee them being able to pull it off because of the offense. Ohio State will just have more firepower. But I expect a low-scoring game. I could honestly see one of those old Alabama games where it's like 13-10, something like that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And like we said, Notre Dame shouldn't have been here. They made it this far. Congrats to them, Cinderella story. But I think this is where the clock strikes midnight, and I think that this is where reality slaps them in the face, and Ohio State gets another natty.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.